Hello everybody, this is Catholic Dad, episode number 423, I believe. More Warbeard. So I started talking about Warbeard yesterday, that a couple guys in my men's group, we started growing a beard, and that somebody thought it was intimidating, and I whispered to my friend, I said, when we're at war, we don't shave, right? So this is Warbeard. So now we're gonna keep the beard going until this war that's going on for the culture of our nation is over. Right? We got the forces of good and the forces of evil. Hopefully we line ourselves with the forces of good. But the forces of evil, the government, the New World Order, or whatever it is, it's trying to force people into this one world government and compliance, and where they could tell us whatever the heck they want to do, no matter what, no matter how much it offends our moral conscience. And so when somebody said that the beard was intimidating, it got me thinking about it a little bit more last night. Why would a beard be intimidating? Well, for several reasons, I think it would be. Number one, it shows that you got a lot of testosterone, at least above average levels of testosterone, number one. Number two, it kind of thickens out your jaw. And so when you thicken out your jaw a little bit, it makes it more defined. What it does is it makes people believe you have more levels of testosterone as well, because when you get levels of testosterone, it widens the mandible. And when the mandible gets wider, you look more intimidating. Well, anyway, so I was thinking about this. If you're intimidating, then people are a little bit afraid of you, and that's why somebody asked my buddy to shave his beard. Now, all that being said is, I would like to say this. Let's go to the masking of people, okay? So this part of your face, this is where you're growing your beard, if you could become intimidating when people can't actually see the skin surface, there's other reasons why you might be intimidating, other than widening out your jaw and showing that you have testosterone. The other thing that it could be is that we use about 10% of our brain analyzing the facial structures of other human beings. Because when we look at people, we look them in the eye, we look at their nose, we look at their mouth, we look at their facial structures and what they're doing with their face, it tells us a heck of a lot of information about what they're up to. Meaning that we're actually figuring out the ability to decide who is friend or who is foe, who we can trust and who we can't trust. And if we can't read faces, well, then we don't know who we can trust, and therefore it creates a population of people that are less able to read each other and less able to trust one another, and you create a population that's less trustworthy. And I don't know if you think about it, I think most people would say, in the world of 2020, we've come to a point in our culture, right, where people trust each other less, and in fact, they're a little skeptical of each other too. If somebody chooses not to wear a beard, well, then people look at them like they're harmful, or they're disgusting, or they're non-caring, or you see what I'm saying, right? And so I think the signals we get in our face from each other is very important to building trust. And when you build trust, you get to work together. And so like I'm at work and I work with a whole bunch of people all day long, and everybody has these masks on and everything else. And when I look at them, like you're supposed to look at your coworker, or look at the people you're interacting with, or look at the people in your life and decide through their facial expressions, are they doing something that they think is good? Like do they affirm what you're saying, or do they find it disagreeable? And so you look at the face to try to figure this stuff out. And so we're taking away a whole bunch of social cues in society from each other based upon covering up our faces. And I would think it's probably by design to do such things, to make people not trust each other and whatever else. Well, anyway, just something more to think about, that you need to see each other's faces. And so if you're getting more courageous and trying to push back against the man and push back against the system, and you actually want to experience humanity as you were made yet again, take your masks off and start looking at each other's faces, and then acknowledge to each other that we need to look at each other's faces because we need one another. And that is the undeniable truth of society, is that humans are these social creatures. And in my town, it just came out in the paper today that suicides are up 40% and domestic violence is up almost that amount in this year, in 2020, over the last 3 years, which that's a really big, crime of despair. You got domestic violence, abuse, child abuse, spousal abuse, suicide, and you know what's going along with that. It's alcoholism, drug abuse, and all the other stuff. People are despairing, and so you need each other's faces. You need to look at each other. And I guess that's all I want to say. And I'm not shaving this beard until the war is over. And when I say the war is over, this cultural revolution we have for our society, either we're going to be a bunch of people who are they're subservient to an autocratic, tyrannical rule, or we're going to be free people that are free to exercise our moral conscience. And so that's the battle I'm talking about for the hearts and souls of people. And if we could grow more of these things, like I was actually thinking about this. Let's just say when tyranny comes to this land, which I think it's coming, and then somebody wants to impart their tyrannical rule in a restaurant or something, and yet there's 20 guys in that restaurant with thick beards on. Well, now we know who's on the same team. It's almost like a uniform. Like, here we are, we got our beards. And for fun today, I went down to a t-shirt company and I ordered some t-shirts that say Warbeard across the front of them with a sword in the middle of it. I haven't seen them yet. I haven't seen the artwork yet. But if you see any Warbeard shirts out there, you know what it's for. It's about solidarity, people that stand on moral principle, people that want to build a culture based upon trust, based upon mutual admiration, based upon the fact that we need one another. And we want to resist a culture that teaches each one of us that through our very existence, we are disgusting, infectious, and a danger to your fellow man. That's what this whole masking COVID thing is. And I would like to say one more thing about COVID, by the way. It's over, at least in my town, in my state of Idaho, it's over. The cases are dropping dramatically. We haven't had a death in the state in 4 days. And so it's time to call the whole thing off. Just call it off. Call the end of COVID. We don't need it anymore. Open everything up. Everybody take your stupid masks off. Learn how to be human again. Learn how to have dignity and respect for one another. Well, anyway, I guess that's all I have to say. This is Catholic Dad making you think about it. Please like or subscribe, get the Mass, pray the Daily Rosary, and do share with your friends. And by the way, if you do want to grow a Warbeard, grow it, and then acknowledge to me. Just come up and say Warbeard. That's all you have to say, Warbeard. And then we'll know we're on each other's teams, that we respect each other. All right, God bless you all. Take care.